Hello, and welcome, Fossil Free Zones. I'm the Reverend Pamela Dolan, rector of the Episcopal Church of St. Martin in Davis, California. Come on in. St. Martin's is a parish in the Episcopal Diocese of Northern California. That means that we're part of the larger Episcopal Church as well as the worldwide Anglican Communion. The story of our decision to become fossil-free began several years ago when we installed our first solar array. There was generally agreement about moving toward being solar-powered, but some other measures, such as replacing all of our gas appliances, were a little bit more controversial. But a turning point came in late 2016 when the HVAC system in this sanctuary failed. People had to come to church bundled up against the cold while we took time to research the most energy-efficient replacement options. And ultimately, we decided to switch entirely to a heat pump system. By the time I joined the parish in 2017, there was a growing momentum to free ourselves from fossil fuels. The whole issue was now being seen as more of a moral and religious duty, and we knew we had to do anything it was in our power to do. The final practical steps were replacing a gas water heater and adding a third solar array, which was donated by a parishioner. Our power comes from 2 solar panels we have on our buildings, plus the solar carport here in our parking lot. We're not yet using batteries for storage, so we are somewhat dependent on the local electric company. However, we do generate more power than we use, so we're seeing significant cost savings. So to be honest, we still have work to do. For instance, in our kitchen, it's used 3 times a week to make community meals for people in need, which is a core part of our mission as a church. However, it uses a big gas stove, and sooner or later we're going to need to replace that with an electric model. There are also still things we could do with our landscaping to make it more climate friendly. One of my favorite ideas is that we get rid of the riding mower, and instead we'll have sheep or goats come graze here on our lawn. Part of what I love about the Anglican tradition is that it is open to the insights of mystics as well as the lessons science has to teach us. We believe that scripture, tradition, and reason are all sources of authority. More and more, these different ways of understanding the world seem to be pointing us in the same direction, towards seeing that everything is profoundly interconnected. So to me, it doesn't even make sense anymore to talk about people and the environment. There's no way that we are separate from the earth, the air, the water, and even the stars. Our bodies are made up of trillions of microorganisms, outnumbering our human cells by more than 10 to 1. So the basic vocation of human beings, as discovered in the Bible, is to care and tend for the earth. It's right up there with having a relationship with God. Jesus told his followers that God cares when even a single sparrow dies. I take this to mean that all of life is precious, down to the smallest single-celled creature. Charles Darwin referred to life as an entangled bank. Thomas Merton had a great mystical insight that any sense of separateness is just an illusion. Julian of Norwich was shown a vision of the whole world as being like a hazelnut in the hand of God. We are all one community, human and non-human alike. There is so much we do to integrate these teachings into our community. We have celebrations throughout the year that help us remember our connection to creation. For the Feast of St. Francis, we bless animals and thank God for how they enrich our lives. We celebrate the rogation season, which is when we bless seeds and fields and gardens, and have opportunities during Earth Day, for instance, to lament the ways that our planet and its people are suffering. We've had classes that help us to see the connection between our faith and climate action. Another aspect of this work has been the creation of what we call a land-based ministry. It's an effort to see more clearly that the land on which we work, live, and worship is sacred, and that it belongs to God and not us. In some ways, the best part of doing this work is the way that it has connected us with other people in the community who are also involved in climate activism. We have members of our congregation who have become part of an interfaith coalition. We have people who are involved in youth. We've learned about indigenous fire practices, about caring for the watershed, and many other aspects of traditional ecological knowledge. Members of our congregation have helped spearhead an effort to have our whole diocese commit to reducing or eliminating their carbon footprint. I'm on the team that helped create a brand new diocesan commission on the environment. We've set a goal for all 60 of our congregations to be fossil fuel free by 2030. We've been working with Interfaith Power Light on the process, and we've had over 20 professional energy audits for these congregations, taking the first step toward zero emissions. Next, the congregations will construct plans outlining all the steps they need to achieve to get to that goal by 2030. Interfaith Power Light uses the example of St. Martin's and this commission to inspire other bodies to move away from fossil fuels. We've replaced a lot of our lawn with more climate-friendly native plants and spent quite a bit of time and money using irrigation systems that use less water. We've installed smart thermostats and replaced most of our light bulbs. We are always encouraging people to try to make some of these same changes at home as well.